And very good morning to you, and welcome to the Talk of the Town. And I'm, of course, Faraz, and our guest this morning is Mrs. Lihini Fernando, attorney at law, former councillor from Moratua, member of the SJB, and rather passionate about being transparent and eliminating corruption, which must be wonderful news for people like the governor of the central bank and the people like the whoever is the secretary of the treasury, because these are the people who will understand that if corruption flourishes and if state-owned enterprises are not reformed, then Sri Lanka will run out of money every now and then, like we've just done. Lihini Fernando, good morning and welcome to the Talk of the Town. How should or how will do you think the SJB will control the rot that is the known as state-owned enterprises?
Whereas I think it's not just SJB, but even the present government who is in power must go ahead with the state-owned reforms. We have no choice for us because these are bleeding grounds that has been causing so much the economy. So I mean, it is not a question of raising revenue. It's a question of how to minimize the colossal losses that are being caused by these state-owned enterprises. Now, if I may to give you some statistics, that about 400 state-owned enterprises, and out of which 52 are the high ones, and out of them in the year 2020 the first 8 months, the losses from these 52 SOEs amounted to rupees 727 billion. And if you take just Sri Lankan Airlines per se, in 2022, the daily loss was 472 million. And the loss of these SOEs in 2021 amounts to 73.9% of the health expenditure and 92% of the education expenditure. So if you take stock of all these things, I mean, we are just keeping bleeding grounds, and we're not taking certain steps to, even to come out of this situation. So, I mean, how can we fix the economy when we tolerate losses on a day-to-day basis? I like to ask this question. If you are a CEO of an entity, if you are driving a business, and then if your P&L is is significantly showing you losses, and if your organization is bleeding, will you continue to operate? Will you continue to operate? You will restructure. You will take measures. You will ensure that, your recurrent expenditures are restructured. Either you lay off your staff, you will come up with new strategies. So if that is the name of the game for the private sector, why not the same thing for the public sector? It is because for us, we don't see the people who run our administration taking responsibility. There's Sri Lanka as a country don't have a responsible accountability culture, accountability transparent culture. We don't have. Because today we see government staff, 1.5 million government staff, excessive staff, and entities like CEB, CPC are heavily staffed. We don't even talk about how to restructure them, how to move these staff, how job segregation, job rotation. We don't talk these things for us. It's just we end up tolerating this. I think we have no choice right now but to go through the hard reforms, whether it is the present government or whether it's the SJB government. Anybody who comes to power must do this. They must do it for the country and for the taxpayer, because it is not fair to repeatedly request the taxpayer to carry these losses, because at the end of the day, the taxes that the people are paying, I mean, people are exorbitantly taxed today for us, and we are taxed to funnel the inefficiencies of the government sector. So how fair is that? Because people's right to life, I mean, if you today if you are earning a considerable amount, you are paying out of tax. You say your tax revenue must increase, but part of it is also to maintain this top heavy fat structures in this country. So I think, there lies a significant responsibility for the executive as well as the legislature, who's responsible for public finance in this country, to restructure and to go ahead with these hard reforms.
Well, there you go. Food for thought. It's now back to the studio with Dom and Asanka. Thank you.